For wild animals, life is all about survival. And in this battle for their own place in the natural world, each has adapted in amazing ways, evolving unique abilities and anatomical mutations, allowing them to thrive in even the toughest environments. But for nature's most captivating animals, survival comes down to their unique methods of communication. From attracting a mate to warding off deadly enemies, ensnaring unsuspecting victims, or coordinating entire colonies. Animals have developed complex ways to talk to each other, using sounds, signs, or even scent. In nature, animals will try whatever method they can in order to stay alive. Early morning in a tropical rainforest, and a mysterious call rings out amongst the mist-covered trees. But it's not just a pretty song. It's a critical part of an animal's existence. This is the heart of the Anticibi region of Madagascar. These strange, whale-like noises echoing through the trees are actually the song of a very unusual primate. The Indri. Found only on this island, the Indri are the largest of all lemurs. Some reach almost a meter in height. They live in small family groups in the undergrowth of the forest. Every morning, the Indri gather to make these distinctive calls. This otherworldly sound can be heard from over 2 kilometers away. They make these noises in order to mark their territory. They're telling any other Indri within earshot to keep their distance. Each group synchronizes their unique calls. Rival groups will sometimes engage in vocal battles. Singing is not their only skill, though. They are also phenomenal jumpers. They can leap an incredible 10 meters from tree to tree. And Both skills are vital to help them combat the island's top predator. The fossa is a cat-like carnivore, only found in Madagascar. Over half of its diet is lemurs. It's also a skilled tree climber with sharp claws, perfect for gripping the slippery branches. But the Indri are constantly on the lookout for danger, and the fossa is spotted. For this lethal enemy, the lemurs have developed a special alarm call. The lemurs scatter for their lives. The fossa will have to wait for another opportunity. The Indri's cries are a highly efficient alarm system. But sometimes, animals call to each other for an even more basic reason. So they can actually find each other in vast lands. Patagonia in Argentina. The wild and rugged coastline here runs for over 1,600 kilometers. Every year, Magellanic penguins return to their nesting sites to breed. These penguins mate for life, so they will have to start looking for their long-lost partners once again. But there's a problem. Almost 500,000 other penguins have got the same idea. After being away at sea for the last 6 months, finding their mates again seems an almost impossible task. First, the penguins have to make it to the nesting sites. These burrows are a 1-kilometer walk from the shore. It's no easy job navigating through the maze of crisscrossing paths and thorny bushes. The penguins head off, hoping for the best. When the penguins do finally reach the nesting site, they then have to identify who their partners are amongst the vast numbers of burrows. It really is like finding a needle in a haystack. Luckily, the penguins have an ingenious way of finding their partners. They make their own unique braying call. Gathering air from their lungs, the penguins use a specialized structure in their throat to emit these shrill sounds. To the human ear, each call may sound the same, but in fact, each is different, and the penguins somehow remember their mate's unique call. Across the colony, penguins become reunited with their loved ones. Beaks clatter in delight as they greet each other once again. The braying noise also helps to reaffirm their bonds and cements their relationship. But sound isn't an animal's only form of communication. Some species talk to each other using scent. A jungle in Thailand, and a stealthy hunter is on the prowl. The clouded leopard is a highly elusive predator that stalks amongst the undergrowth looking for prey. She has super senses to help her pick out a target. Like all cats, she has highly accurate binocular vision that helps gauge the distance of any unsuspecting victim. She also uses her acute sense of smell to locate prey. Today, however, she isn't looking for food. She's trying to contact other leopards by leaving her scent. These territorial loners lead such solitary lives. Scent is the main way they can communicate with each other effectively. She's hoping a potential male will come across her smell and will want to mate with her. A few hours later, a male wanders through the undergrowth and picks up on her scent. The male responds to her smell by phlegming, curling back his upper lip to expose his front teeth. He inhales with his nostrils closed. This transfers the scent into his mouth, where he uses a special organ to search for signs she's ready to mate. Finding exactly what he was hoping for, he then leaves his own scent for her to find. He uses various methods, including urine spraying, cheek rubbing, or scent scraping. The female continues this long-distance love affair, leaving further messages for her suitor. Until the moment arrives when these two reclusive animals finally meet. The system of scent marking has done its job. These leopards will soon mate. Leopards are loners that use smell to overcome the difficulty of contacting each other. But how do you communicate effectively when there are millions of you living together? A colony of black harvester ants are hard at work in the blazing desert heat. They are out foraging seeds from blades of grass. A group of them are cutting down the seeds, while another group march the crops home. It's a military-like operation, relying on superb communication amongst the ants. There's no one leader here giving out orders. Instead, each ant sends signals to one another using pheromones or chemicals, which they sense through their antennae. Through this method, the ants are designated specific jobs. Patroller ants are in charge of deciding which direction to take to find food. They use chemical markers to tell the ants behind which way to go. This system produces a formidable army of ants. The insects collect whatever food they can find and bring it back to their burrow. Back at base, other ants have been given the task of cleaning the colony's entrance. They clear seeds and husks like professional cleaners. Hygiene is a big priority in ant world. Ants will also talk to each other through touch. Often with just a touch of their antennae, they know if an ant is from the same colony. Each group has its own scent. Few animals are as efficient as ants when it comes to communicating as a group. But in terms of having an extensive vocabulary, there is one animal that tops all others. The Virunga National Park is home to one of the cleverest animals on Earth. The dense forests here on the mountain's lower slopes are the ideal environment for a very special group of primates. When it comes to complex communication, few can match the chimpanzees that live here amongst the trees. They impart information to each other using an incredibly intricate system of vocalizations, signals, and body language. It's believed they have up to 66 different signs that signify their moods or desires. Another important method of communication is through grooming. One chimp will turn its back to another to let them know it wants to be picked at. As well as keeping each other clean, it maintains strong relationships amongst the family. As for vocal communication, the pant hoot is the most commonly heard cry. It can be used to greet each other, or if they come across some interesting food. Any chimpanzee within earshot will listen to these calls, then reply. It begins with a raspy, low-pitched hoot, developing into a series of quicker, high-pitched pants. The higher-ranking chimpanzees perform this call more than others, with the alpha male pant-hooting the most. But he has other methods to assert his dominance. Sometimes he will crash through the forest, stamp his feet, or shake branches in a show of strength. With the drama over, the group settle down again. As with humans, playing is an important activity for young chimpanzees, but there are rules communicated via signs and body language. They try to get the attention of their mothers when they want to play. But this young chimp hasn't yet mastered the art of climbing. So this mother keeps an eye on her baby to keep him safe. If he oversteps the mark, she will gently call him back. But she knows she needs to let him learn how to climb properly and how to socialize with his peers. When she's decided it's time to go, she looks over her shoulder, a sign for him to climb on her back. In nature, it's not just animals that have found clever ways to communicate with each other. The island of Borneo in Malaysia is home to some of the most pristine rainforests on Earth. On the jungle floor lies a highly unusual plant. The Rafflesia flower spends months as a bud lying on the rainforest carpet. But it has a very striking way of sending out a message when it wants to pollinate. Once a year, it decides the time has come and blooms into an astonishing flower. It's not just any flower. The incredibly rare Rafflesia is the biggest in the world. It weighs a massive 10 kilos and is up to 1 meter across. But this flower is renowned for something else. It has a truly disgusting smell. It has earned the nickname of the corpse flower because of a stench that resembles rotting flesh. It may be a foul smell, but it has a purpose. The stench is designed to attract carrion flies, which act as pollinators. The insects flock to the plant and take the pollen away with them. The flower only lasts a few days. It needs to get these flies to transport its pollen to another flower. After just 4 days of flowering, the huge petals wither and die. The Rafflesia's disgusting smell is an extreme way of expressing itself to the outside world. But in another forest in Colombia, one flower has decided the best way to send its own message is through sweet perfume instead. The bucket orchid is one of around 5,000 different species found in these forests. This orchid only flowers for 2 to 3 days of the year, so it needs to find an effective way to pollinate, and quick. It produces a delicious smelling fragrance to communicate to the orchid bee that the time has come. This aroma is so irresistible to the bee that he will travel up to 50 kilometers in search of it. He's hoping he can concoct a perfume to entice a female. But the orchid doesn't want the bee to just steal the fragrant oils and leave. Instead, it wants to attach its pollen to the bee, so it hatches a devilish plan. The orchid has unique water-producing organs that drop liquid below. It's an enticing smell, and the bee investigates. But then, too late. He's trapped. The walls of the plant are too slippery to escape on foot. And the soapy water clings to the bee's wings, rendering it incapable of flying away. The bee is a prisoner with only one way out. There's a narrow, slippery tunnel under the orchid's reproductive organs. The bee takes this route out, but he appears to get stuck. Now the orchid seizes its chance and attaches a pollen sac to its back. The bee's ordeal is finally over. He dries his wings and flies away to freedom. The bee then unknowingly takes his small yellow parcel to another orchid in another part of the forest. The orchid's plan is complete. The sweet smell of the orchid is a form of communication used to lure in its unsuspecting victims. But in nature, other messages are designed to warn intruders away. A forest in Norway, and one early riser is busy waking up the residents. This great spotted woodpecker is letting everyone know that this is his territory. He stakes his claim by hammering very loudly on his favorite tree. Although they also call, drumming is the way they like to communicate with each other. He hammers on the tree so loudly it can be heard almost a kilometer away. The better the drumming, the stronger and fitter the bird, meaning other woodpeckers are more likely to keep clear. Other woodpeckers will recognize the sound by its pattern and know this territory is claimed. Woodpeckers' chisel-like beaks are perfectly designed for drilling at wood. He's hitting the tree at 1,000 times greater force than gravity. Luckily, they don't get headaches from all this headbanging. They have reinforced skulls, and their brains are tightly cushioned to protect it from repeated impact. Woodpeckers tend to favor hollow trees. Not only does it amplify the noise more, but it's also stuffed full of insects and larvae. The power of the woodpecker's call is one of the most impressive in the animal kingdom. But one creature has truly perfected the art of noise. When you live in a jungle, it can be hard to get your message across. The trees and dense undergrowth muffle your calls. For some, there's only one solution. Blast it as loud as possible. Gibbons are particularly noisy and boisterous jungle dwellers. They are renowned for their incredible variety of different calls and hoots, as well as their extraordinary treetop acrobatics. There are 19 different species of gibbon spread throughout Asia. All of them equally adept at leaping and swinging from tree to tree. They think nothing of springing over 10 meters to reach another tree. Their long limbs make swinging between the branches easy. With this mixture of leaping, walking, and swinging, they can travel through their territory at great speed. And it's this territory they get so vocal about. Every morning, these yellow-cheeked gibbons mark out their domain by telling rival groups to stay away. The noise is so intense, it can be heard 2 kilometers away. They have a large, powerful pair of lungs, making them one of the loudest of all primates. Gibbons deploy a technique similar to the one used by opera singers to get extraordinary power in their voice. They sing soprano by modifying their vocal cords. This enables them to sing higher notes much louder than the lower notes. Another species of gibbon, the Sumatran siamang, has taken singing to a whole different level, using a very unusual adaptation. This large throat pouch, called a gular sac, serves as a resonating chamber, sending their calls far into the forest. Declaring your presence through sound is the best way to relay information across vast distances. But for some animals, visual signals are the preferred method. The island of Zanzibar, a tropical paradise that lies off the East African coast. In a lush forest, a hungry hunter is on the lookout for food. The chameleon likes to feast on large insects such as crickets. And he's got one of his eyes on a prize. But he's not alone. A rival arrives with the same idea. The chameleon needs a way to tell his competitor to step aside. Rather than fight, this chameleon has a more original way of telling him to back off. These lizards have a special layer of skin cells containing crystals that can change in order to reflect different colors. The cells adjust according to the mood of the chameleon. When he feels threatened, the transformation occurs. Suddenly, his skin turns darker and the black spots turn yellow. As well as changing color, he also starts to rock from side to side, all to warn his rival not to steal his food. The challenger stops in his tracks. The threats seem to be working. The chameleon now has free rein to see if he can grab a quick bite. The chameleon's unique way of communicating with his rival has been a success. Dinner is served. Fortunately, crickets are in plentiful supply, so the other chameleon won't go hungry for long. Talking to each other through color shows the extraordinary diversity of animal language. But there's one animal who uses its legs for an even stranger method of communication. Egypt, and the tide is receding on its sandy shoreline. Fiddler crabs emerge to take advantage of the food underneath the sand. When it comes to hand signals, the male fiddler crab's giant claw makes it king. When they feed, they move their small claw across the large claw as if they were playing the violin, hence their name, fiddler crabs. Only the males have this huge claw, not the females. The males use it to communicate with other crabs. Its primary use is to attract females for mating. The bigger the claw and the more frantically it's waved about, the more impressive they are to the opposite sex. The male crabs also use their claw as a means to assert their territory over encroaching males looking for new burrows. Inevitably, conflicts ensue. And the claw can also be used as a weapon. Sometimes, understanding the message being conveyed is a matter of life and death. Argentina, and one of the world's biggest spiders, is on a mission. This tarantula is on the hunt for a female, but it's no easy task. He's had to travel for many weeks with hardly any food or rest. He's one of many other male spiders in the desert, looking for a female's burrow. But he knows that when he gets there, he may be killed. Female tarantulas have a reputation. They can be vicious cannibals who often kill their partners before or after mating. It's uncertain what the reasons are for this cannibalism. The male spider has to tread very carefully. After an epic journey of weeks on end, he stops in his tracks. He's come across a burrow entrance. But first he needs to know if there is a receptive female inside. The female tarantula communicates with males by leaving traces of web outside the burrow. Her web contains chemicals that lets the male know she is home. After ascertaining he's in the right place, the male spider has a way of sending her a message himself. He taps the ground to send a form of Morse code to let the female spider know he's there. He needs to be very wary, though, as she might come out only to kill him. For the male, it's a gamble. Will it be kiss or kill? It seems the female has heard his knocking. Luckily, she is open to visitors, so the male acts quickly to subdue her by stroking her legs. This sends her into a trance. He keeps her fangs away from him by using small hooks on his front legs. A necessary precaution in case she suddenly decides she'd rather eat him than mate with him. With the female under his spell, he quickly mates with her. The act itself only lasts a few seconds. He then makes a speedy getaway. Luckily, the female remains in a trance for a few minutes, allowing him to make his escape. The tarantula is not the only animal that has a distinctive way of talking to each other in order to find a mate. The Galapagos Islands in the Pacific are a haven for some of the most exotic wildlife in the world. Known as the Enchanted Islands, this is a land full of lush forests and green mountains. But one animal here truly rules the skies. The magnificent frigatebird. These huge aerial giants weigh over a kilo and have wings that stretch out for almost 2.5 meters. These birds can cruise through the air for days on end. They only spend a lot of time on land when it's time to breed. But the female needs to choose which male to nest with, and they have a unique way of calling to each other. The males are situated below in nest sites, hoping a female will spot them. To get their attention, they advertise their positions. The males stretch out their wings and inflate their huge throat pouches. Then they give out a piercing call to the females that fly above. The balloon-like throat not only helps the frigate make its unique noise, but the vivid red color also attracts the female. The males make a drumming noise on their pouches to re-emphasize their positions. It's not a subtle method of communication, but it does the trick. The female scours the land below and chooses the bird with the most impressive display. The chosen male then hides her from any competition. In the natural world, all animals need to communicate when there's something they want. Deploying a myriad of different methods to talk to each other. Whether it's using sound, color, body language, or even smell. Finding the most effective technique to get your message across is critical for all life. Nature always finds a way to get what it needs in order to survive.